There's a black pass.
No.
Oh, I did. It was a reflection. Oh, okay. So we'll go ahead and get started, and if she is able to join us, we'll look forward to hearing her. Okay, my name is Leslie Watson, and I'm the board president for the Recycling Co-op, and this, as you see, a lot of familiar faces, but not entirely familiar. So, in case you didn't know, you're at the Northeast Network, which is a monthly conversation. Monthly conversation that we host on various topics of interest to our, including cell phone magic. That's coming up. And we're really pleased we took August off, and we're really pleased to jump back into September to talk about garbage and recycling and waste, and how some of those issues are they're always relevant to us, but I think they stay kind of. I think we all like to keep them behind closed doors and wrapped up in black plastic, so that we don't have to think about them too closely. But it's really important to have a good handle on just what that looks like and what that means for our community, and also on a broader level. So I'm really happy that we have here today Susan Young with the City of Minneapolis. We're very familiar with her because we work closely with her as the co-op got into its plastics recycling program. And then we have John Jimenez, who's the organic recycling coordinator for Hennepin County Environmental Services. Correct? Mm-hmm. And we're also expecting Kathleen Schuler of the Institute. She's with the Health Legacy for the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy. And I'm just going to let them kind of give whatever information they think they'd like to deliver on this topic. I think we just generally said, we want to talk about issues of waste, how much we generate here, where it goes, what flows through, what and what we can do to reduce it, and maybe touch a little bit on what some of the human health impacts are of some of those things, perhaps. So we just invited them to come and speak for a little bit, and then open it up to questions. So I hope you have some. And with that, I'll turn it over to Cindy.
The official title is Director of Solid Waste Recycling, but most people know me as the Trash Lady, the Graffiti Maven, and the Shopping Cart Diva. Because Minneapolis Solid Waste Recycling Services not only handles all of the solid waste management for the City of Minneapolis residential properties, but we're also charged with removing graffiti, making sure that shopping carts aren't where they don't belong, and a variety of other things. Solid waste recycling has a very simple mission statement. Clean City is job one. Period. That is our mission statement. Clean City is job one. Margaret Mead and hundreds of other anthropologists are very, very happy that humans have traditionally understood that if you keep your garbage and your waste away from where you live, that is a good thing, and it keeps you healthy and it keeps you alive. They depend on midden piles. My responsibility is to make sure that there are no midden piles in the alleys and front yards in Minneapolis. That when you go out on your front porch, you are not going through a barrier of garbage that was generated in your house. In Minneapolis, we provide what I call a full service of solid waste services. In other words, unless it's a truly hazardous waste or a dead animal, we'll either make it go away or we'll help you get rid of it. So in Minneapolis, we collect your garbage. That's in the large black carts with the wheels. And by the way, Minneapolis provides service to all 1 to 4 unit dwellings, 1 plexus to 4 plexus. We also provide service to all townhouses. We do provide commercial services to commercial buildings and properties. We provide services to large rooming units and to apartment buildings that have not been doing a good job of taking care of their waste themselves. So we provide a full spectrum of services from residential to commercial. Your garbage goes away in Minneapolis. Last year, for the first time since we've been recording garbage tonnages, we were below 100,000 tons of garbage last year. We've decreased in garbage in Minneapolis about 12.5% over the past 10 years. So last year we generated 99,000 tons of garbage in Minneapolis, and all of that garbage is taken to burn. All garbage in Minneapolis goes to a mass burn incineration facility. We provide recycling services in Minneapolis. It is a source-separated recycling service. That means that our customers separate out their recyclables. I've been in the garbage biz for more than 30 years now. It's a little frightening. But I have never been able to sell garbage. I can sell commodities, all right? I can sell steel and tin and newsprint, and I can sell office paper, and I can even sell plastics, and we can move batteries. But I cannot sell beer-soaked newspaper. I cannot sell glass-contaminated office paper. I can't sell contaminated garbage as a recyclable. In Minneapolis, we depend significantly on the revenue that we get from our recycling to help support the services. Last year we got about $1.6 million net processing and marketing for our recyclables. That saved Minneapolis customers $1.60 per dwelling unit per month. $1 million in Minneapolis is $1 per dwelling unit per month on your solid waste bill. To me, $1.60 a month is significant. That is worth fighting for. We also collect appliances and scrap metal. That means that the refrigerators, the freezers, the stoves, the dead lawnmower, the broken up bicycle, the aluminum or metal lawn furniture, the scrap stuff that you pulled out of your basement because you're not a plumber anymore, car parts that do not have fluid or are not contained. In other words, we won't take any gas tanks, but we'll take the door of the car as part of our scrap metal. We process that material at 2710 Pacific, which means that we take out the capacitors, resistors, the fluorescent light bulbs. We drain and drill the compressors. We drain and drill any gas tanks on lawnmowers or other snow blowers are a big one for us this time of year. And then we scrap that metal out. We sell it for scrap. All of the constituents are either recycled if we can find a market, or they're manifested and disposed of at a proper hazardous waste facility. Last year we had almost 3 tons of scrap metal. That's really down for us. There is a thriving scrap metal infrastructure, rather illegal infrastructure in Minneapolis. And it's becoming an environmental issue because what folks are doing is they're smashing computers and TVs and stripping, cutting the freon lines and refrigerators and freezers to get to the metal parts. And this is not folks that are, for the most part, that are doing it as a, this is all that I live on. These are folks from suburban communities that are driving large trucks and are doing this for a living, and they're making a very good living at it. We collect yard waste in Minneapolis. In other words, when you fly into Minneapolis, I am always stunned by the tree canopy. You fly into a lot of cities in the United States, and you don't see the tree canopy that you do in Minneapolis. However, that means that there's a lot of brush, there's a lot of leaves, there's a lot of grass clippings. We love our blooming boulevards, but we really don't want our dahlias with tobacco mosaic in our composter. You don't want some of your end-of-season tomatoes and apples in your composter if they're carrying anything like fire blight. So in Minneapolis, we do provide yard waste services. That material is composted. It's composted by a private company. Our contract with that composter says that they have to return a certain amount of that material to Minneapolis at no charge to community gardens. So we bring an enormous amount of finished compost back to community gardens that is Minneapolis yard waste, grass clippings and leaves and garden material that has been composted and then comes back to community gardens. Last year on our yard waste we had 19,000 tons. We're going to have more than that this year. We've had a lot of rain, so there's going to be more yard waste. We collect electronics. We are the only state in the United States that takes electronics, a cooperative program with Hennepin County. We do the collection and they do the processing. The only state in the United States that does not charge for electronics or does not make you do a special pickup or make you take it to a special place. We had 818 tons of electronics last year that were collected in Minneapolis. We also collect household batteries at the curb with your recycling. Again, the only city that I know of in the United States that does that, there was 29 tons of that. Garbage, recycling, appliances, yard waste, those are our big 4. We also provide a service to Minneapolis customers at our South Transfer Station. I recognize that the housing stock in Minneapolis is old. I recognize that you can save a ton of money on your remodeling project and on keeping your house together if you can dispose of that stuff economically. So everybody on their solid waste and recycling bill pays a small portion of the base fee on the bill to keep the South Transfer going. It comes out to about 37 cents a month. But for that, you can 6 times a year take 2,000 pounds of either, I cleaned out the attic stuff, the city came and said I had to break up my sidewalk and replace my sidewalk. I'm replacing the roof on my house, we're redoing our kitchen, and these are the cabinets that cannot be salvaged or reused. This is the old linoleum that's coming off my floor. All that construction and demo debris, you can take 6 loads, 2,000 pounds each load, to the South Transfer Station at no additional charge to you. You can also take 2 vouchers worth of 8 tires per voucher to the South Transfer Station. Tires in Minneapolis, okay, my background is in biology. I know that it takes life to create life. Therefore, tires live. All right? You heard it here first. Tires live. If you go down the alley today, there's a tire there. Tomorrow there are going to be 2. The next day there are going to be 6. The next day there are going to be 20. And so help me glory, they live. All right? And they reproduce faster than rabbits. I don't get it. I don't understand the tire thing, but we are trying to get a handle on that. And I have a lot of neighborhood groups that get special vouchers and they do tire sweeps on a regular basis through the summer. We want to get tires out of the alleys. I don't need West Nile virus in Minneapolis. Tires are a great breeding ground, nice, warm, stable, collect good water for mosquitoes. So we try to make sure. We had 148 tons of tires that were taken to the South Transfer Station last year. That's an enormous amount. Clean City is job 1. We are here to protect public health and safety. That's our main function. But we've been pretty innovative over the years, and doing the first electronics program, the yard waste programs that we do that go back to community gardens. We've begun some organics, source-separated organics collection pilots. The East Side pilot has now started. I've got almost 100 folks signed up on the new pilot that just started. We work with, for instance, the co-op. We'll work with neighborhood organizations on special projects that they want to try, pilot programs. We're going to be doing a pilot dual-stream recycling program with the Seward neighborhood, again in cooperation with Hennepin County. So we're willing to try some new things, but the basic business mission is that Clean City is job 1, and we need to protect public health and safety. That is what a public works solid waste organization is about. We'd like to be able to be innovative on some of the policy issues, but the bottom line is that before I can change someone's behavior, I have to protect the rest of the city and make sure that the behaviors that folks are engaged in are taken care of. One thing I do need to say is that our demographics in Minneapolis really drive my process. 48% of my customers are rental properties. I do provide service to 105,000 dwelling units. Again, 48% of which are rental properties that sometimes have more or less investment in their neighborhood. A study done on the north side by North Point Health Services confirms what I've known for a long time, is that many of the Minneapolis residents do not have a vehicle of their own. Only 40% of the folks on the north side have a car that they have access to. So the services that I provide have to be very neighborhood and very alley-centric. You need to be able to put your stuff at the alley line and know that it's going to go away. I think I keep it back. Pardon? I think I'm out of cards because I gave them all away to the neighborhood organization. But if you call 311 and you ask for the trash, 311, and you ask for the trash lady, they'll get you to me.
Okay, thank you.